Let me be real with you for a moment. Everybody wants the comeback, but nobody wants the process that creates it. Everybody wants to shout, I'm coming back in 2026, but they don't want to talk about what happened before the comeback, the losses, the embarrassment, the nights you questioned yourself, the moments you felt forgotten. But hear me clearly, what you went through did not break you, it built you. You thought the setback was a sign that you were finished. You thought the door closed meant the dream was over. But what if that setback was actually protection? What if life wasn't rejecting you? What if it was redirecting you? Because sometimes God will shut a door not to punish you, but to prepare you. Sometimes the fall isn't failure, it's foundation. And if you're still breathing, still standing, still dreaming, that means the story is not done yet. There were seasons when you gave everything you had and still lost. You worked hard and got overlooked. You stayed loyal and still got hurt. And in those moments, something powerful happened inside you. You learned patience. You learned humility. You learned how to survive without applause. You learned how to keep going when motivation disappeared. That pain taught you discipline. That silence taught you focus. That struggle taught you hunger, and hunger is dangerous because a hungry person refuses to quit. Listen to me, everybody sees the comeback, but nobody sees the conditioning. Nobody sees the tears, the frustration, the self-doubt you had to fight through just to show up again. But those dark moments gave you something success never could: character. You stopped chasing validation. You stopped needing permission. You stopped waiting for someone to believe in you. You learned how to stand alone. And when you can stand alone, you become unstoppable. You're not the same person you were before the setback. You're sharper now. You're wiser now. You move differently because you know what it costs to lose. You understand that comfort is expensive and discipline is cheaper. You understand that quitting is easy, but living with regret is harder. And because of that, you refuse to waste another opportunity. You refuse to sleep on your potential. You refuse to let the pain be pointless. 2026 is not just another year on the calendar. It's a statement. It's the year you stop explaining yourself. It's the year you stop apologizing for wanting more. It's the year you turn pain into power and pressure into performance. You're not coming back emotional. You're coming back focused. You're not coming back angry. You're coming back prepared. You're not coming back to prove people wrong. You're coming back to prove yourself right. And when people ask how you did it, how you rose again after being counted out, you'll know the truth. It wasn't luck. It wasn't talent alone. It was endurance. It was resilience. It was refusing to let one season define your entire life. The setback didn't end you. It educated you. So stand tall. Walk with confidence. Carry your scars like trophies. Because the same thing that tried to bury you ended up planting you, and planted people don't die, they grow. I am coming back in 2026, not broken, but built. Let me tell you something right now. Excuses are the silent killers of greatness. They're comfortable. They're convincing. They make you feel like you're doing enough when you're really doing nothing. For too long, I was guilty of it. I blamed my circumstances. I blamed my environment. I blamed people who had no business being blamed. I blamed the past, the failures, even the lack of recognition. But here's the truth. Blame will never bring you back. Action will. Somewhere along the way, I had to get honest with myself. I had to ask a simple question. Am I going to let my story in because I can't take ownership? Or am I going to do whatever it takes to come back? And that question shook me because it forced me to look in the mirror and confront the hard truth. If I wanted my comeback, I had to stop whining and start working. Making sacrifices is not popular. It's not fun. Nobody posts on Instagram about how early they wake up or how late they work. Nobody celebrates the long nights when you're grinding while everyone else is sleeping, eating, partying, or scrolling on their phones. But guess what? That's the difference between people who dream and people who dominate. Sacrifice is the price you pay for progress. And I realized something important. I am willing to pay the price. I started showing up differently. I started waking up before my excuses. I stopped chasing motivation because motivation is unreliable. Some days I didn't feel like it. Some days my energy was low. Some days the world looked dark. But I remembered why I started. I remembered my vision. I remembered my goals. And I committed to moving forward anyway. Not because it was easy, but because it was necessary. Not because I wanted comfort, because I wanted results. Excuses are the voice of fear. Sacrifice is the voice of courage. Excuses keep you stuck. Sacrifice propels you forward. Excuses make you a spectator in your own life. Sacrifice makes you a participant, a warrior, a champion. And when you start sacrificing today, you're investing in tomorrow. Every hour, every decision, every choice to stay disciplined, it's a deposit into your future. And the dividends, they are paid in victory, in respect, in pride. I started asking, why me? And started asking, why not me? I stopped looking for shortcuts and started embracing the grind. I stopped wishing and started doing. I realized the comeback isn't about luck. It's about sacrifice, strategy, and consistency. It's about being willing to give up the temporary for the permanent. I stopped making excuses and started making sacrifices, and that's the turning point, the moment when the world begins to notice, but more importantly, when you begin to notice yourself. So when 2026 arrives, let them talk, let them doubt, let them underestimate, because you're no longer the person who waits for permission. You're no longer the person who hopes for easy. You're no longer the person who settles. You're the person who sacrifices, who shows up, who does the work no one else sees. And that's how you come back stronger, fiercer, and unstoppable. I am coming back in 2026. No excuses, all in, and nothing less than everything. Listen carefully, because this is where most people fail. They want the results, they want the recognition, they want the money, the followers, the applause, but they don't want to rebuild their mind. And I'll tell you why that matters. If your mind is weak, everything else crumbles. You can have talent, you can have opportunities, you can have connections, but if your mind is full of doubt, fear, and negativity, your comeback will never happen. The battle starts inside your head. I had to do some hard work with myself before I could step back into the world stronger. I had to confront my fears, the ones I ignored, the ones I hid from, the ones I told myself were not that serious. I had to face the lies I had been telling myself for years. You're not enough. You missed your chance. You'll never make it. Those lies almost killed me, and I realized if I wanted 2026 to be different, if I wanted this comeback to be real, I had to unlearn the lies and relearn the truth. The truth is, my past does not define me. My failures are not my identity. My setbacks are not my center. And most importantly, other people's opinions don't determine my worth. I had to start speaking life over myself. I had to train my mind like an athlete trains their body. I had to feed it positivity, focus, and vision every single day. I had to condition my thoughts so that doubt, fear, and excuses could not live in my brain anymore. Because what you think, you become. What you believe, you achieve. And what you tolerate, you allow. I started visualizing my success before I saw it externally. I pictured the victory, the growth, the impact, the freedom. I imagined myself stronger, smarter, hungrier. I imagined myself walking into 2026 with confidence, with clarity, with purpose. And each day I worked to align my habits, my actions, and my decisions with that vision. I surrounded myself with people who challenged me, pushed me, and held me accountable. I cut out the negativity, the distractions, the people who didn't believe in my comeback. Here's the harsh reality: your environment will influence your mind, but your mind determines your environment. If you don't rebuild your mind, nothing else will follow. You'll keep making the same mistakes, attracting the same setbacks, and repeating the same cycles. But when you change the way you think, everything changes. The grind feels different. The challenges feel smaller. The doors that once seemed closed now begin to open. Opportunities start to align. And the comeback, it becomes inevitable. I want you to understand this. Success is first mental, then physical, then spiritual, then financial. You cannot skip steps. You cannot fake it. You cannot outsource your mindset. It's yours. And until you rebuild it, your comeback is only a dream. But when you rebuild it, man, when you rebuild it, you walk into 2026 like a hurricane. People will see the results and think it's magic, but they won't see the hours, the battles, the nights you stayed awake fighting your mind through when fear tried to stop you. So I am coming back in 2026, mentally unbreakable, spiritually focused, physically ready, and ready to dominate in every area of my life. Because the mind is the battlefield, and I have won it. Let me tell you something right now. Comebacks aren't casual. Comebacks aren't polite. Comebacks aren't for people who play small or settle for mediocrity. Comebacks are for warriors. And this time, I'm not coming back to try. I'm not coming back to test the waters. I'm coming back to dominate. The difference between a comeback and a regular attempt is this: intention. Some people talk about getting back what they lost, but they do it half-heartedly. They make plans, but they quit when the first challenge hits. They make promises, but they break them because comfort is easier than commitment. Not me, not this time. I've been through the fire, I've faced the pain, and I've seen what happens when you're willing to go all in. I am not playing, I am all in. You see, domination is about preparation. It's about putting in the work when nobody is watching. It's about grinding while others sleep. It's about waking up early, staying late, sacrificing the temporary pleasures, and investing in the permanent results. Domination is a mindset. It's the refusal to settle for anything less than what you know you're capable of. And I know what I'm capable of. I've faced the setbacks, I've rebuilt my mind, and now I'm ready to attack life with focus, intensity, and precision. People will try to tell you that comebacks are luck. They'll say timing matters more than effort. They'll say you're too late or too far behind. Don't listen. The truth is, timing is irrelevant when you're committed. Effort overrules excuses. Sacrifice outweighs fear. And consistency beats talent every single time. I didn't wait for opportunity to find me. I created it. I didn't wait for motivation to show up. I forced myself to move. And I didn't wait for the world to believe in me. I believed in myself. Domination is also about confidence, but not the fake confidence people wear on social media. I'm talking about unshakable confidence born from hard work and preparation. I know what I've done. I know the nights I stayed up when everyone else slept. I know the mornings I woke up tired but refused to quit. I know the hours I invested while nobody applauded. That confidence cannot be stolen, cannot be shaken. It cannot be bought. It's through relentless commitment. And here's the truth. When 2026 arrives, the world will see the results, but they won't see the grind that created them. They won't see the struggle, the rejection, the fear, or the self-doubt you had to conquer. They'll only see victory. They'll only see excellence. They'll only see domination. And that's okay, because you don't need their validation. You need your own accountability. You don't need their applause. You need your own discipline. You don't need their approval. You need your own focus. So this time, I'm not coming back to participate. I'm not coming back to compete. I'm coming back to take over. Every goal, every dream, every opportunity that belongs to me, I'm claiming it. And I'm doing it with relentless energy, unwavering discipline, and unshakable belief in myself. I am coming back in 2026, not just to rise, not just to recover, but to dominate every area of my life. Because when you've been through the fire, rebuilt your mind, sacrificed relentlessly, and trained like a warrior, the comeback isn't optional, it's inevitable. And this time, I'm unstoppable.